Hi, I'm Renee Settle, and this is Anae Campbell, and we are doing some amazing things today, and we have some great announcements with our special guest, Tricia Wade, right? Wade, sorry, Tricia Wade. My brain is just a little bit mush today, but we'll talk about that later. We're here to talk about some amazing things that have happened in the Kannaway world using CBD oil. And for that, I would like to hand this off to Anae Campbell and have her do some introductions and a little bit about what's going on, because she is in our top line.
Yeah, I'm at the top.
You are.
I'm going to the top.
You are.
It's happening. We're going to the top. I really have a special relationship with this little lady, and we've known each other for a long, long time. And due to Kannaway and the CBD oil, I really wanted to say that this company is a marketing company that has caused us to reconnect, caused me to reconnect with beautiful people that they didn't go away necessarily. Well, some of them died, but they didn't go away necessarily. We just lost touch. And through social media, which I'm extremely proud of and happy to be in Facebook and having that availability and all, I'm seeing a wonderful growth and the reconnection with people that have been in my clientele for a number of years. I first met Tricia soon after my oldest daughter passed away in 1987. She passed, and I think Tricia and I came together about 89, or the fall 89 or something like that. So we've walked a long path together, but we hadn't seen each other or talked to each other in about 15, 18 years, something like that. And it was just wonderful to find CBD and think of go down the line and you list your people that you want to contact and all. And she was one of my first people of a list of 10 that I wanted to contact. And I called her and I said, Tricia Wade, what are you doing, girlfriend? And away we went. And so she caught the vision, and Tricia has a little farm or animals. Maybe we call it a farm. I don't know that you're growing anything except animals and taking in strays. But she started talking to me one evening about being brave enough because she asked me, she said, what about CBD for animals? Well, her practice and her world is about not only being brave enough to go beyond the edge of the rules, which is part of my theme, but take it upon herself. And she has modalities of testing to see how much and what and so forth. And that's a whole world different. And it's a world that both of us have lived in for a long, long time. So I want her to share with you, because she showed me this and I was in awe. And I wanted to share with you her horse. So Tricia, take it away, girl.
Okay. Sophie, who you see on the screen now, she's about 15, maybe 16 years old. And we've dealt with cancer with her 2 or 3 times. This time, it wasn't going away. Nothing had really seemed to help. I'd been working with her for 6 or 8 months, and it was continuing to get worse. I would put a few different things on it. I would feed her different things.
So can I interrupt you real quick, Tricia?
Yes.
She had a cancer? Where was it?
Vaginal.
I'm going to show a picture here in a minute of the before and after, but I kind of want to explain a little bit more about what that is.
Well, being a paint mayor, a lot of the geldings will get these types of cancers on their sheath if they're white. Mm-hmm. And for mares, it shows up, where she feeds.
Right.
So it's not very pretty to look at. Uh-huh. It can get really, looks like raw hamburger meat. If you just want to know the truth of it, it can get really yucky.
And it's
And that's really where it was when we started.
yeah.
When I started with CBD oil, and I thought, well, you know, I've got some CBD oil in my refrigerator, and I'll just go out and I'll muscle test her, and I'll talk to her, and I'll just and I fed it. I fed her 3/4 of a teaspoon a day because she was so sick of me putting anything and looking at her. I didn't even take pictures of it because
Mares don't like your tail to be lifted.
she was so tired of me touching, rubbing, cleaning, and photographing that I mean, and you can see her. She's pretty strong personality there.
You can tell by that face. I can see that face. That look on her face right now is what are you doing?
Yeah. And that's Sophie. She's my alpha male. And so I didn't even fool with it. I just gave it to her. I didn't, and I just went on. I really wasn't paying much attention to it. I didn't really expect it to do anything magnificent or anything. And I looked out the kitchen window, and most of her behind is white. Well, it had normally, or what had become her norm, is that she had a bloody streak all the way across her hips.
Oh, poor thing.
And I looked out there, and there was no blood stripe on her hips. And I went, wait a minute.
And how long is this?
She's only been taking this for 10 days.
10 days. Wow.
10 days. And so the first picture, even though it's not very pleasant, is 10 days after she started, and it's after it stopped bleeding.
Wow.
So, well, it's still gross. It's not as gross.
So that's the one we're going to share here just for a second. I'm going to give a warning to everyone who's viewing that this is a photo that's graphic. So if you are in any way, shape, or form queasy or, not prone to this, I would close your eyes for a moment while we share this photo. But it does say the testament in the before and after. So you have been warned. And we're going to leave the photo up for about 5 seconds, and then we'll take it back down again so people can see it. So here is the sharing. Here's the photo. And as you can see, it's not exactly beautiful. It's not pretty, but it's not as bloody as what she mentioned. So we'll stop sharing that, and we'll go back to the photo of the mare just to make sure.
Would you say, Tricia, that in that 10 days from where you made this particular first photo that she was 50% better? Or
yeah, I mean, I guess it looked like two walnuts sticking out back there.
Poor thing.
So the fact
wow.
that the inflammation went down, and it doesn't look like raw hamburger, and
Right.
it's no blood, I would say that would be at least 50%.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. All right. So let's see her healed. Woo!
So then
Or
after
today.
10 days, this is the photo that we see.
No, this was after.
That's actually after you saw the 10-day one was the gross one.
Okay.
And this one was actually taken August 1st this week.
Oh, okay. So just a couple of days ago.
Mm-hmm. This one is 2 days old.
August, so just a few days ago, which is about how long?
She started on June 4th. So
a couple months.
Just
2 months.
So basically in 60 days, around about 60 days, she looks like she's pretty much mostly healed.
Yes, and it's still changing. I think that it's going to go completely back to a normal. I mean, there's just little things, if you really know mare's behind it.
Right.
The little details that I'm thinking that's going to the tissue's going to come back and regenerate. But right now, I mean, she looks great.
Well,
and
I've
been dealing with this for
months. I just have to say that being I am a horse I grew up on a ranch, and I was around horses, but having not been around horses for a really long time, not looking at their rear ends on a constant basis and understanding it specifically, I still am massively impressed at 10 days and then at 60 days and seeing the total change in that.
Me too. Me
Well,
too.
and taking it internally at 3/4 of a teaspoon once a day.
Once a day.
How many pounds does she weigh?
She's about 11 to 1,200 pounds.
Well, okay.
Beautiful.
You know,
big girl.
and this is the big difference of working with an animal who has no fears or anxieties or drunkenness or any of that happy crap that we might do as humans to get in the way, you know?
Yeah.
This is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
No, she has no point of view about it at all.
She's just like, I feel better, so I am better.
So lift my tail once more. I won't holler at you this time.
Yeah, she has no problem now. I mean, I'm not back there spraying. I'm like, one more photo, okay? I'm good with that today.
I wonder if she knows.
So now I want you to tell me about your Hank.
Yes. So we'll put a picture up of Hank so everyone can see. That handsome devil. Can everybody see him?
Well, just his eye.
Oh,
eyeball.
There we go. How's that? Better?
There you go.
Better. Hank occasionally has seizures. Now, he got hit by a car, and after the accident with the car, he would occasionally have a seizure. I didn't know he was still having seizures, and I had just gotten my my first order from Kannaway, and it's sitting in the kitchen, and I'm thinking, well, you know, I should really have somebody that needs this oil to test it for me.
Sure.
Well, it sat there for 2 days. Hank all of a sudden comes in, and he's having a seizure. Well, needless to say, Hank became we popped the seal on the Kannaway. Sure. And I had a dropper bottle sitting right next to it on my counter, and it was clean. I grabbed the dropper. I probably drew up a half of the dropper, and I gave him like 1/4 of an inch. That's not very much.
That's 5 drops. That's 5 drops.
Okay, yeah. 5 drops. In the middle of the seizure, he just stopped. The seizure, it just stopped it. Wow. And now he takes 6 drops every morning. And he's doing great. And I've actually put the other 2 dogs on it too. Honey's always had a little bit of digestive stuff and not anything. I just tell her how musical she is, and she goes right along, and she's happy about it. I'm not always happy about her fragrances. So, I mean, I've changed dog food. I've done all of the normal things to do. So she's on the CBD oil. And while we're still having a little bit of that, that's changed. It's less. But the thing for her is she's just happier. And I wouldn't have said she was an unhappy dog, but there's just a little bit more happy in her little steps.
So which oil have you been using?
Pure, the pure. Mm-hmm. And then she's getting about 6 or 8 drops. She prefers hers on yogurt, so she gets hers on a little bit of yogurt. Hank doesn't care.
How much do these dogs weigh?
Honey is about 50, and Hank is probably about 45, although he's taller than she is. He's lanky. And Hank is only about 3 years old. Honey's about 4. And then Jethro, who's my biggest guy, he is 6 this year. So he's also on it. We're just going to see what it does for Jethro. Jethro sometimes has, he itches a little bit. because he likes to play in the sewer. Really. See, I have those. I'm out in the country, and I have those heads that pop up out of my. And when I enlarge my yard, one of them is now in my yard. Well, he thinks that's the grandest thing is to chase and bite the water from the. And so the result is sometimes he's a little itchy. I'm like, okay. So
That's funny.
anyway, I don't put all of the chemicals in it. I put all the natural fives and things like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's still playing in the sewer basically.
That's funny. That is hilarious. Oh my gosh, Tricia. So is he getting any improvement on the itching or?
Well, he's not itching as often.
Yeah.
At least I haven't caught him, scratching
Right.
or anything.
Right.
It's not like he gets his hair off or anything. He just
Sure.
a little more like it's annoying. So. But anyway, he and Honey have only been on it for about 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. So they've got a little bit more time.
Yes. Hank's been on it the longest. So
Yeah.
anyway. But
so I would like now for you to share one of the things that just absolutely had me rolling in the floor one night when you called me about the gentleman who has neck issues and you used the salve.
Yes.
And you have to be full descriptive as you were that night.
That was my brother-in-law who has cadaver mud in his neck. He's had a few surgeries.
He has what?
Cadaver mud in his neck.
What?
Where they went in and they mix bone and from cadavers, and it's actually used in surgeries to support the reconstruction.
Oh, okay. So it's some serious stuff. I thought that was.
So,
yeah.
He's had some serious surgeries, so.
Do they call it cadaver mud?
Yes, they do. Yes. Yes, I found out this week that not all cadaver mud actually comes from human cadavers too.
Wow.
Woo! Oh my goodness.
This is a new one for me. But I think Greg's was human. I think his mud was human, we hope. Anyway, he gets up every day.
Well, it might be his attitude. I mean, you'd have to watch his attitude. You might know where it came from.
Yeah, really. Well, he said he would test out the salve for me, and he slathered it on his neck. And my sister said, now make sure you do that in the morning when you get up. And he said, oh yes, I'll do it because my neck is sore every morning when I get up. He was halfway to work. She called him and she said, Greg, did you put on your salve? And he said, oh no, I didn't put it on. And she said, well, that's not going to help Tricia. And he said, oh, I put it on last night and it's not hurting this morning, so I didn't see a reason to put it on. So
wow.
4 days later, I hadn't heard anything. So I said, hey, I was concerned about, did it break you out? And he goes, well, it broke me out yesterday where I was sweating and I got these little bumps on my neck. 3 days later, when he started sweating, is when he goes, but it hasn't hurt since then, so I haven't had a need to put it back on. And I'm like, oh, well, I go, I guess maybe it healed something in the process.
Wow.
So I found out this week that he's not using it, but she's using it now on her hip. And she said, she didn't break her out at all. She said, so I figured he didn't need it anymore.
He didn't need it anymore. It's that one time he fixed him, so now he can be used by someone else.
And he's had surgeries in his elbow, and he just slathered himself all up. So I'm sure she shares with him a little bit, but not too much now.
She's probably the one that puts it on him so that she can make sure he gets
Mm-hmm.
it where he's supposed to be. Yeah. Because he probably
Probably
just
so.
put it all over.
But yeah, he said and his neck hadn't hurt in 4 days, and he said it hurt him every morning.
Wow. You know, it's funny because that's taking the CBD oil. I've been taking that for probably close to almost 2 months now. And my knees, I've noticed a real big, huge difference in my knees because I have osteoarthritis in my knees. For many,
Mm-hmm.
many, many years, I was close to 500 pounds. And, you know, all that pounding on my knees, even after losing the weight, it's pretty much, the doctor said, you know, we're just trying to make it last until we can get you a knee replacement, because I'm only 50 years old. And, you know, we don't want to do a knee replacement until we absolutely have to.
Mm-hmm.
So the CBD oil has been easing that pain. It was, I was taking naproxen and other, you know, medications, and even a tramadol every day to help with the pain of it, just to be able to walk, and not even normally, just to be able to ambulate to certain places and not very much. And now with the CBD oil, it was amazing. The first month that we used it, I was able to go up and down the stairs. We have 2 stairs going out of our house, and like a normal person, you know, rather than doing one step at a time, I was able to actually just walk down it as if I were not normal, because nobody's normal, but you know, as you would normally do, just walk down the steps. And I think the biggest part for me was when we ran out and we had to order. Well, we had to wait for the new order to come in, and that was 2 weeks.
Mm.
And in that 2 weeks, I didn't have CBD oil, and it was amazing to me when the pain came back, because it came back all at once. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a gradual that I got used to over time, which was originally. It came back all at once, and I was almost, I would say almost truthfully close to being bedridden, because the pain and the aching and the swelling was so much. And it wasn't it was normal for what my previous life was prior to.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
because I had the CBD oil, I was able to do things and feel things and not feel that pain, and realizing that a lot of my brain and my body and everything was managing that, which was why I was tired, which was why I did all these things and had issues with the rest of my body, because I was trying to manage that pain and that, you know, swelling.
Yes, and it goes on for so long,
Yeah.
we don't even notice what degree of discomfort we're really in. We just keep going.
Right, because
And
we figure out how to do it. And then
yes.
when you're out of pain and it
Mm-hmm.
all comes back, it's like big load of bricks right down on your head, and you're like, but I handled this before, why can't I? Well, because we weren't used to it. So I'm back on CBD oil. I'm, you know, making sure that I have the steady supply that I need to feel good. And it wasn't even, it even helped my ability, because I'm not as depressed anymore, because I'm not dealing with the pain as much. So there's always that niggling in the back of your brain of being in pain. So you go towards the negative side of things. And now it's easier for me because I'm not in as much pain, and I can utilize my brain power to start to heal myself.
Yes, and are you noticing the subtleness of, or at least for me, what I'll say that I'm noticing in subtle things that I haven't done in a while that I'm just catching myself doing, and I'm like, wow.
Right.
I mean, things that, you know, from things that I was doing with the horses, or, you know, I work Jethro and I work the horses together. Well, we haven't done that in months, because me being out there and on my feet that long, and after being a full day doing therapy all day,
right,
that just really wasn't even practical. Well, we were out there the other day for like an hour, fooling around horses on the backside, and I went and got this one, and I played with Sophie, and I played with the panda. I hadn't done that in months, and then came in and sat down and worked with the computer and did more stuff in the house. I was still ready to go at midnight when I went, oh shoot, it's midnight, I gotta go to bed.
I gotta get up in the morning. Yeah.
You gals are talking about the cannabinoid system, and that way it talks to and opens the receptors to CB1 and CB2, and that when we can get away from the pain body and the brain registering the pain, you get to jump the fence over to the happy part of the brain and the pleasure part of the brain. And I am thrilled at how the cannabinoids do that and bring us back into that wholeness and balance. So this has been a great time, a fun time together. And I'm just really happy for us to share with our Abracadabra Hempire folks and the rest of the world if they want to look at it. Thank you, Tricia. Thank you for being with us today. And Renee for being my scribe and setting it all up, and away we go. All right.
I'm thrilled.
Thank you.
This is great. Okay. And Tricia, thank you for the stories. That was amazing.
Thank you.